Hi Aries, welcome to your November now. I'm going to do November 2020 reading. Here's your card. Can you see that? I'm like trying to, okay, there we go. Aries. So what I'm going to do is a past, present, future spread and some advice. Keep in mind that this could be happened already in the past, is upcoming, or is currently happening now. We're all just in kind of different areas of the timeline. So trust when you're supposed to get it is when you are meant to see the message. And cross watchers welcome. Sorry if it's kind of triggering. I understand sometimes when I cross watch I get like super triggered. But if it's not your story, it's not your story. The roles can be reversed too. It could be vice versa. And if it is your story, you did something bad to Aries. You know, we all have a dark and light side, okay? So just try to forgive yourself. There might be some message here for you. Maybe not. Let's begin. Okay. So, Aries, let's do a quick past energy for you. What happened in the past for Aries? Recent past. Clearest message that you need them to hear. Aries. All right, so in the recent past, it looks like you've been taking some time out on your own to kind of reassess, think things through. You might have been going through kind of sort of a dark night of the soul, and you're just trying to kind of find your way out of, you know, light a lantern and using your own internal guidance to kind of get yourself out. So I think you're just withdrawing in the recent past a bit to kind of think things over, look at everything, kind of assess what happened, and sort of just taking some time with yourself, really introspected and probably quite withdrawn as well. Okay, so let's actually I want to keep these out just in case I see something else in them as I'm going. So current energy that Aries is in. Ooh, okay. So again, it looks like you might be having a bit of a change of perspective in some things. You might not be speaking. You might like not be speaking your truth. You might not be communicating. You might not be saying anything. Be careful, Aries, too, that you're also maybe not acknowledging the truth about a situation. You could be trying to see it from a different angle or refusing to see something for what it is. But I feel like you are getting some of your confidence back. You're getting back into your power here. And after some withdrawal and some time on your own, I think that you might be starting to get back into that Aries charm and the warmth and confidence and kind of charisma. And I think maybe you've had to withdraw a bit so that you could get back to yourself. I think you're trying to shut out all the noise and chatter from everybody else and their opinions of you, and just trying to go within again to get yourself back on track. I think you know that that's what you need to do right now. And get one more card. Okay. So you could be again wanting to, let me just clarify that again. Okay. Yeah, so you might be coming back into your power now a bit and starting to, you went within a bit, now you're starting to kind of reemerge again from whatever happened. It looks like you might start socializing a bit more again where you haven't been in the past, and just kind of trying to be independent, trying and getting that confidence back again, and just sort of reemerging from this past reassessment and isolation that you were in. I think it was self-imposed as well. I think you were like, okay, I just need to take a step back from everything. And now you might be feeling like starting to come back out. All right, good. So let me just grab some cards for your upcoming future energy. I'm going to take these back. Okay. What's upcoming energy for Aries? And then we'll do some advice. This is just for the near future. Energy can shift and change. This is just kind of the upcoming energy that you might be feeling yourself in and what to expect coming ahead. What's coming ahead for Aries? Okay, so again, I think it's a lot of the same energy that you were just in is going to be continuing to come up again. So I think that some of the depression and disappointment and shame and guilt and just that dark heavy cloud is sort of starting to fall away a bit now, and that's going to continue to fall away up in the near future as well. I think your period of kind of assessment is kind of starting to come to an end as well. I think you've thought about a lot of things and you're ready to just start moving forward again slowly. I think which is unusual for an Aries, usually quite like you like fast movement and can be a bit impulsive. But now I think you're like, okay, I'm going to move forward in a more careful way. Maybe not jump into things as quickly. And because I think you assessed how you ended up in the situation that you were in that made you withdraw a bit. And now you're thinking, okay, I'm going to proceed a little bit more logically and maybe a little bit more slowly and in the future and let things grow at a more slower pace. Card. Okay. So yeah, again, I think you might you're starting to maybe communicate a little bit more with people and trying to be a bit more rational and logical and you're trying to think about how you should see things clearly in the future. No rose-colored glasses type of situation. You're thinking you're gonna be more logical, grounded, use logic and reason. And so I think going into in the near future, that's kind of the energy that you're gonna be in, which is good. Which is kind of a change, maybe. What else we got? Okay, so you also might you're in less of a place of feeling and more in a place of thinking now. So though a lot of this energy is starting to fall away, I do think that you still have some residual mental stress that's keeping you up. It could be also coming up a little bit of less like crying in the shower type of energy and more overthinking things. Maybe some anxiety and depression, things kind of keeping you up at night. So just be prepared for that energy to be coming up as well. Less heartbreak, more feelings of overthinking, could be possibly some shame, some guilt, just, kind of your worst fears, thinking about them over and over again, and maybe things that you've done or shouldn't have done or did do, just maybe you might be in that energy a bit coming up. So just be prepared for that, okay? And sometimes that's needed. Sometimes we have to go to the dark place and the overthinking and just really overthink things so that we can really just work them out and let them go, right? If something happens that hurts us emotionally, like the first thing that's going to hit us is like all the raw emotions. Then once that subsides, then we're left with the thoughts, right? So then we have to work out the thoughts. But it's kind of good. It's like a progress thing. Like, okay, the feelings are more rationalized now. Now you just have to sort out the thoughts and then can kind of start moving forward a little bit more. Okay, let me get some advice. What is some advice that you have for the Aries that I'm reading for? Let's help Aries out. Let me clarify that. Okay. Hold on, two more cards. Let me get it more rounded. Two more cards for Aries. Damn, I'm sorry. These are pretty heavy. Okay. So I think, so what had happened, I think maybe has caused you, there was a situation I think that might have been emotionally manipulative, sense of a pity party, or feeling sorry for oneself, you know, maybe just like closing oneself off and sort of feeling sorry for oneself, and having a lot of anxiety and feeling afraid of the future, or feeling afraid of what's going to happen next in this situation, and also just grief over the loss of something, whatever it would be. The advice is to try and leave it, right? Because this is the only card out of the Rider-Waite cards that is upright. So it's time to kind of let that victim mentality go. Even if you were victimized, not saying you weren't feeling sorry for yourself like without reason. You know, you might have felt left out in the cold, outcasted, just not feeling well at all, right? And just a lot of grief and sadness, which led to fear and anxiety. And the cards are suggesting it's time to leave that ahead. You know, like you have to leave a situation behind, or a person behind, even though it brought you a lot of happiness at one time, and you're leaving not without regret and sadness and you know, nostalgia, but you have to leave it, right? I think you know that there's nothing left you can do there, and it was good to go within for a while and withdraw and think things over and feel bad about the situation, but the cards are suggesting it's time to leave that behind now, and leave the I think what you're struggling to leave behind too is that you thought that this situation was going to bring you a lot of happiness, and like I said, it probably did, but then it turned into this. It turned into emotional manipulation, victimhood, grief, fear, feeling outcasted, left alone. So I think you're walking away with a whole lot of emotions that you once loved something or someone or a situation, but also all of these bad feelings. So it's kind of a heavy bag you got on your shoulders, but it's got to stay in the past, right? And to also learn that it had to happen. You know, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. So the best bet is to just keep walking ahead. Think about all the lessons that you learned from it, and realize that, you know, we're all kind of in a theater. It's a play almost, you know, life, and people come in and characters come in, and they have their role. It's necessary that their role is here for us because that was part of our story, right? And as painful and sad as it might have gotten, that was part of the story. That was part of your story, and this character or characters needed to be a part of it. But it's time now to move on to the next chapter. Does that make sense? Okay. So anyway, I hope this helped, Aries, and stay safe out there, and I'll catch you next week for energy update. Okay, bye.